let's move a little bit further on with fractions then, and let's do some fractions of amounts. But first of all, your starter is to do some bus stop division. Remind yourselves of how to do the bus stop division. So, for example, if I'm dividing this first one, 928 divided by 4, I'd set it up like that, and then I'd go through and do my bus stop. Okay, so I want you to do those division, and then, well, pause the video, do those division on a piece of paper, and then once you've done them, unpause and see if it tallies with my answer. Off you go. Okay, right, we've already set up the bus stop for the first one. So let's see how many 4s go into 9. Well, it's 2. And 2 4s are 8, so there's 1 left over. And 4s go into 12 3 times. There's nothing left over, so nothing to carry across. And 4s into 8 goes 2. So 232 is my first one. Next one then, so let's set up my bus stop. I am dividing by 6, so that goes on the outside. 1, 9, 2, 6 goes on the inside, because that's what I'm dividing. Now 6 is into 1 doesn't go, so I carry that 1 across because I haven't used it to the next column, and it now becomes 19. While 6 is into 19 goes 3 times, because 3 6s are 18, and there's 1 left over. Again, so it carries it across to the next column, so it becomes 12 now. So 6 is into 12 goes twice, and 6s into 6s goes once. So it is 321. 321 6s in 1926. Next one, divided by 7. I keep writing these like they're square roots, don't I? A bit weird. 4, 2, 3, 5, and I'm going to divide that by 7. Well, how many 7s go into 4? Well, none. It's not big enough. So I carry that whole 4 across to the next column, so I've not used any of it. And 7s into 42. There are 6 7s in 42. And there's nothing left over because it fits exactly. And then 7s into 3 doesn't go because 3 is too small. So I carry all of that 3 across to the next column where it becomes 35. And 7s into 35 goes 5 times. So there are 605 7s in that number. Another one. Why do I keep drawing square roots? Stop it, Mr. Norris. Stop it. I can't stop it. It's not my fault. It is your fault. Stop it. And let's divide that by 5. 5s into 4 doesn't go, so we carry all of that 4 across to the next column where it becomes 44. 5s into 44, well, 5s goes into 40, doesn't it? Because there are 8 5s in 40, and there are 4 bits left over. And then 5s into 49. Well, 5s will go into 45, won't there? 9 5s are 45. And there are 4 bits left over again, which also makes 45. And I know that 5s into 45 goes 9 times. Whew, that's a weird one. 899. And lastly, right, I'm scribbling that out. That's wrong. It's a bus stop. It's not a square root. 300. I think I might be a bit tired. 3,296, so we're going to divide it by 8. 8s into 3 doesn't go, so I carry all of that 3 across to the next column. 8s into 32 goes 4 times. Then nothing left over because it fits exactly. 8s into 9 goes once, and 1 8 is 8, so there's 1 bit left over. 8s into 16 goes twice. 412. Well done if you managed to get all of those right. If you haven't, maybe go and do a little bit of practice at bus stop division. Okay, right, next one. Let's move on then. Oh, I've got a little phrase down here. I didn't mean for that phrase to be there, but it is there, so we might need it. Divide by the bottom times by the top. That is going to be useful later, but ignore it for now. It doesn't exist. Let's work out 1/4 of 320. Well, the first thing I'll do is explain what on earth we actually mean by that. You might even be able to calculate it, but let's look at what it actually means. It means take 320 and split it. If I've got to find a quarter, I'm splitting it into 4 equal pieces. So that's the maths I'm going to do first of all. It's just 320 divided by 4 and see what we get. Okay, and it actually happens that each one would be worth 80. 80, 80, and 80. And all I've done is divide it by 4. Yeah. And so that would be my answer. So if you want to find, say, a quarter of something, you divide it by 4. You divide it by that bottom number. This is what we mean by divide by the bottom. I'm cutting it into 4 equal pieces. But how about if I want 3 quarters? Well, I already know what 1 quarter is. What I want to do now is go, well, I want 3 of those. So that would be 3 lots of whatever 1 quarter is, which is 240. That's where the times by the top comes from. So if I want to find a fraction of the amount, I'm going to divide by the bottom to cut it into pieces, and then times by the top, because the top number on a fraction tells me how many pieces I want. Bottom one is how many pieces, the top one is how many pieces. Yeah, so bottom number is how many pieces I'm cutting it into, top one is how many of those pieces I need. I know what I mean, even if I can't explain it. So 1/3 of 195. So let's do it again, right? So that means cut it into 3 equal pieces. There we go, because the bottom number is 3, so I've got to cut it into 3 pieces. 195. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's do it at the bus stop again. 195. I want to cut it into 3 pieces. It doesn't go into 1, so I carry it across. 3's into 19 goes 6 times. 3 6s are 18, so there's 1 left over. 3's into 15 goes 5. So each of these pieces is worth 65. All right, I've cut it into 3 equal pieces. So 1/3 of 195 is 65. But I want 2/3. That's basically find 1/3 and then, times it by 2. Get 2 of them. So I want 2 lots of this 65. So it's 2 times 65, which is 130. And that's what that is. Right, but this is our main thing. Divide by the bottom times by the top. And I'm going to shift that up there because that's going to be our little mantra for how we're going to do these. So I'm not going to sort of show the explanation anymore. We're just going to do the maths. Right, 1/5 of 410. So first thing you want to do, if you want 1/5 of something, you need to cut it into 5 equal pieces. Right, and I'm going to let you use a calculator at this point. You could use bus stop if you need the practice. So 82. That's what that is. 82. Because I cut it into 5 equal pieces. But let's say I want 3/5. Well, I already know what 1/5 is. What I need to do now is find 3 lots of that. Because each piece is always going to be equal. And that's 246. So the first one's 82, second one 246. Yeah, so divide by the bottom to get, in this case, 1/6, times by the top to get as many sixths as you want. So 180. Let's divide it by 6, and when I divide that by 6, I get 30. So 1/6 is 30. That is a 3. Yeah. Should we do that? Oh, no, Mr. Nice, be tidy. Go and get the eraser. How about that stuff? Come back with the pen. There we go. 30. Yep. But I don't want 1/6. My next question says I want 4/6. So I times by that top number. I times by the 4. I want 4 lots of 30, which is 120. Okay? So divide by the bottom, times by the top. Let's do some more questions here. I want you to have a go at these ones. I want you to find 1/4 and then turn it into 3/4. Find 1/5, turn that into 4/5. Okay? So pause when you've done them and unpause. No. Pause now, unpause when you're done. And I'm going to go for a quick lay down and I'll be back in a minute. Oh, that was a nice snooze. Right, so we have unpaused. Right, so we're going to find 1/4. So divide by the bottom. Divide by that bottom number. 72 divided by 4 equals, you should have got 18. So 1/4 of 72 is 18. But I want 3/4. So I'm going to times it by 3, which I think is 54. It is 54. So 3/4 of 72 is 54. All right, what about 1/5 of 210? Well, the first thing, divide by the bottom. Divide it by the 5 to find out what 1/5 is. And 1/5 is 42. But I want 4/5, so I need 4 lots of 42. which is 168. Well done if you got those. So divide by the bottom to cut it into pieces, and then times by the top to get as many pieces as you need. Right, there's some more questions, 6 questions. Crack straight into those. Press pause. When you're done, I want you to unpause and see if it agrees with my answers again. Off you go. Right, we have unpause. So let's see what we've got here. 1/3 of 18. So 1/3. I'm going to divide by the bottom, which is 3. 1/3 of 18 is 6. Now I don't need to times by the top because I only need 1/3. Right, 1/6 is 60. So I'm going to take my 60 and divide it by that bottom to cut it into 6 equal pieces, which is 10. And I don't need to times it by the top because there's only 1/6. I've already got 1/6. Right, 4/9 of 81. Well, the first thing to do is divide it by 9 to cut it into 9 equal pieces. And there are 9 9s in 81, so that's 1/9. But then I need to times it by 4 because I want 4/9, so you should get 36. 2/3 of 24. Okay, well, the first thing, divide by the bottom number to cut it into 3 equal pieces, which is 8. So 1/3 would be 8, but I want 2/3. So I need to have 2 lots of 8, which is 16. So 2/3 of 24 is 16. 4/9 again of 54. Well, take 54 and cut it into 9 equal pieces. Divide by the bottom. And there's 6 9s in 54, so that's what 1/9 would be. But I want 4/9, so I need to times that by 4, which is 24. So 4/9 of 54 is 24. Divide by the bottom, times by the top. Now 4/5 of 55. Right, there's 55. Divide it by 5. Cut it into fifths. Each fifth is worth 11. 1/5 is 11, yeah? But I want 4/5. So I need 4 lots of 11, which is 44. Yeah? So you should get 6, 10, 36, 16, 24, and 44. Yep. Okay, it's your turn then to do as many questions as you can. Fill the rest of this lesson by doing as many of these as you can, and then let me know via Show My Homework how many you got. You know, tell me, did you do all 18 questions? How many did you get out of 18? You know? Okay, off you go. And yeah, good luck. Oh, I should say, pause the video and then do them. And when you're finished, you need to unpause so you can see the answers. But I'm not doing the answers until you've done the questions, all right? So pause the video and do the questions now. Go. Well done. You have done the questions and I've unpaused, so here come the answers. So if you've accidentally not pressed pause, you need to press pause now. But anyway, here come the answers. Ready? There's the first column. There's the second column. And there's the third column. Well done for as many as you got right. Okay, once you've done your marking, let me know how many you've got right, and I'll see you next time.